Your baby is squealing, being tossed gently in the air, laughing so hard they can barely breathe, and it looks like simple fun. But inside that tiny brain, something much bigger is happening. Something researchers call the activation relationship, and it might be one of the most important things a father does for a child's entire emotional future. Today, I'm breaking down what's actually happening inside your baby's mind during rough-and-tumble play with dad, and why it's doing something a calm cuddle simply can't do. Hey, welcome back. I'm Maya. For decades, most parenting research focused on the mother-infant bond: soothing, feeding, calming. Foundational, important work. But in the last 20 years, researchers studying fathers specifically have found something fascinating. Dads tend to play differently than moms, on average, and a baby's brain seems built to expect and even need both kinds of interaction. Today's video is about the specific kind of play, physical, surprising, a little risky, that father figures tend to bring, and what a baby's brain is actually learning from it, moment to moment. This isn't about replacing gentle bonding, and it's not about one parent mattering more than the other. It's about a second, distinct channel of development that turns out to be just as essential. Part 1, the activation relationship. Let's start with the concept researcher Daniel Paquette introduced, the activation relationship. Where a mother's caregiving is often associated with soothing and safety, a father's play tends to activate, pushing a child slightly outside their comfort zone, in a safe, controlled way. Think tossing a baby gently in the air, mock wrestling with a toddler, chasing a child around the yard until they shriek with laughter. To an outside observer, that looks like roughhousing, maybe even a little reckless. Inside a baby's developing nervous system, it's actually a training ground. Every toss, every surprise growl, every gotcha moment gives a baby's brain a small, safe dose of uncertainty, followed immediately by resolution and laughter. Over and over, the brain is learning. Unpredictable things can happen, and I can handle them. That's a genuinely different lesson than I am safe and calm. It's I am safe, even when things get a little unpredictable. And developmentally, both lessons matter enormously. One builds a baby's sense of security at rest. The other builds their capacity to tolerate risk, uncertainty, and big feelings without falling apart later on. Part 2, what's physically happening in the body. Here's what's happening physiologically during that kind of play. A baby's arousal, heart rate, alertness, even mild stress hormones spike slightly during the surprise or the toss. This isn't the bad kind of stress. Researchers describe it as positive arousal, the same physiological family as excitement on a swing or the thrill of a roller coaster for an older kid. What matters most isn't the spike itself. It's what happens right after. The immediate return to safety, usually within a caregiver's arms, followed by laughter and connection. That up and down cycle, arousal, then safe resolution, is essentially a rehearsal for emotional regulation. Every single round, a baby's nervous system is practicing going up and coming back down, with a trusted person right there the entire time. Do that hundreds of times over early childhood, through countless small rounds of play, and you're not just having fun together. You're literally training the stress response system to expect that big feelings are survivable, temporary, and followed by safety. Part 3, fathers as a secure base for exploration. There's a second piece to this. Research on father-child attachment suggests dads often become associated, specifically, with exploration and confidence building, more so than pure comfort seeking. When a toddler stumbles or gets a little too excited during rough play with dad, they often instinctively look up, checking dad's face before deciding how to react. This is called social referencing. If dad's face says, "That was fine, keep going," the child usually gets back up and continues playing without missing a beat. Over time, this shapes a child's baseline relationship with risk and failure, not as something to fear, but as something to check in about, recover from, and keep moving through. Babies and toddlers whose fathers engage in this kind of playful, activating interaction tend to show, on average, stronger emotional regulation and social confidence later in early childhood, according to research on father-child rough-and-tumble play. It's not that mothers can't provide this. It's that, on average, this specific play style shows up more often and more distinctly in father-child interactions. Part 4, what this looks like day to day. So, what does this actually look like in practice? It's the airplane game before bedtime. It's the gentle wrestling match on the living room floor. It's the surprise peekaboo that makes a baby shriek with laughter every single time, even the 100th time. It's chasing a toddler around the kitchen island while they scream with delight, not fear. None of this needs to be elaborate, expensive, or scheduled into the calendar. What matters is the pattern underneath it. A little unpredictability, immediate physical closeness, and a shared laugh at the resolution. The container matters just as much as the chaos. A baby needs to know, underneath all the excitement, that dad is fully present and attuned, ready to catch them, literally and emotionally, the moment it's actually needed. Part 5, when it's too much. Reading the cues. One important note here. Activation play only works when it stays inside a child's window of tolerance. If a baby turns their head away, arches their back, or starts crying instead of laughing, that's the signal to dial it back immediately, not push through it because they'll get used to it. The goal was never maximum stimulation. It's staying right at the edge of a baby's comfort zone, with dad closely reading their cues the entire time, adjusting in real time. Done well, this kind of responsive play builds trust in the process itself, not just in the game. Dad notices the moment I've had enough. That responsiveness, pausing, checking in, backing off when needed, actually turns out matter more to the long-term benefit than the roughhousing itself. If this changed how you think about playtime, hit subscribe. Next week I'm covering the specific games backed by this research, broken down by age, from 3 months all the way to 3 years old. Let's recap. Fathers often play in a way researchers call the activation relationship, introducing safe, playful unpredictability rather than pure soothing. That play creates cycles of positive arousal followed by safe resolution, which functions as a genuine rehearsal for emotional regulation. Babies check a father's face during these moments through social referencing, learning in real time whether a risk is safe to continue taking. And when this kind of play stays responsive to a baby's actual cues, dialing back the moment they've had enough, it builds both confidence and trust at the same time, not one at the expense of the other. None of this replaces the calm, soothing bond a baby also needs from every caregiver in their life. It's a second, distinct channel of development, and it might be one of the most underrated things a father does every single day without even realizing it. If you're a dad watching this, that airplane game, that wrestling match, that chase around the kitchen, it's doing more than you probably think. Comment your favorite version of this play with your own kid. I genuinely want to hear it. Subscribe for next week's age-by-age game breakdown. See you in the next one.